blind. What is up, everyone? Welcome to Plastic Hearts Podcast, show where we break down the video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, Gavin freaking Jones. Gavin, how are you?
Good. It's Gamer Christmas.
It's Gamer Christmas.
It was an all right one.
It was, you know what, the internet disagrees. Apparently, I've been reading Twitter as I do. My mental health is declining because of that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But apparently no one's happy. Everyone hated E3. I thought it was dope. You know, that's the thing. It's like now E3, everyone can do their own press conference when they want. Mm-hmm. So E3 doesn't have that same panazz. It doesn't have that same like, oh shit moments. But
right.
I thought it was okay.
Well, and people showing stuff beforehand, like Dying Light just had a press conference.
Yeah, they had that. PlayStation, which wasn't there, had the Horizon thing where they showed off gameplay, which looked dope.
Right. Forgot about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's just a different era. So you're just not going to get these oh shit moments. But I mean, for me, and we'll get into the details, but like Nintendo showing off Breath of the Wild 2 footage, gameplay, that looked really dope. Other than that, you got to see Halo Infinite, which was awesome. Finally got Starfield announced. So like there's some really cool stuff.
It was good. Before we dig into it, have you been playing anything, been watching anything, and why have you been watching Loki?
I have been watching Loki. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Did you not like it?
No, I liked it.
Okay.
I'm ready for more. I checked yesterday. I didn't see a new episode. I hope it's today.
I think it's every Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah, which is odd because I'm used to, I think both Wanda and Falcon were on Fridays. So I got used to that. You know what I hate is that they do such a good job of luring you in, so that when the episode ends, it's like, well, I want to know what's going to happen. Of course, that's the whole show format, but it's like, I just want to watch all these at once.
Well, I thought they did like Amazon did, and didn't Amazon release like 3 episodes at the gate, or was it 2?
I think with the boys, they did that. It was like the first 2 episodes, maybe even that cartoon one.
Oh, Invincible. I think they did that. I thought Mandalorian did that though.
That might have been 1 episode, but I think Amazon's more likely to play with that. Maybe with like a new show, which I did because that lures you in. But maybe with a show that's already established, they don't have to do that. But no, I love these. I just love the show format, even though I hate it like while I'm watching it in real time because I want to binge it. Yeah, I love that they are taking these different, characters and stories within the Marvel universe and just exploring it, and it's just it's like perfect.
That scene though, where they're like showing him what happens to him though. That was very good. That
was cool. Yep. We rewatched Thor Ragnarok after watching Loki.
The best one.
It's one of the best Marvel movies, period. It's really, really awesome and just hilarious. And Jeff Goldblum as that one guy is perfect, man.
Man, speaking of Jeff Goldblum though, how cringeworthy was his performance on the
I think I skipped through that, but he was introducing Jurassic World, or like the farm sim that they have, the sequel to that, right?
Yeah.
I just kind of skipped through it. Was he doing
he was definitely trying to be kind of funny, kind of clever. And it's just like, all right, his name is Jeff is spelled with a G. Okay.
He's one of those characters, like, I don't think he ever will die. I think he just transcends into a different planet. Like, I don't think just like, I don't know, Prince. It's like, I don't think these people ever really left the planet. They just, or died. I think they just went to a different plane of existence because that's what they do.
But I assume you've been playing some Ratchet and Clank. I've heard nothing bad about this game.
It is dope. I'm really digging it. Yeah, playing it a bunch. It's definitely Ratchet and Clank. Like maybe as I was looking at some of the reviews and stuff, it's all positive pretty much. But if there's anything negative, it's just that it is that same formula. So maybe the series needs to spice it up a little bit. But that's really just like a small nitpick because it is the core gameplay is fun. It's platforming, you're collecting stuff. It's the most beautiful game I've played for sure.
That's what literally everyone says. This is the one.
It's insane how good it looks. And you have the loading stuff going on with the traveling to different levels instantly and the way they play with that and the game mechanics. It's awesome. But yeah, if there's any, complaint, it's just that maybe this formula could be spiced up a little bit, but at the same time, it's totally fine. You kind of know what you're getting into with this kind of format. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's really cool.
How would you feel about hookers and blackjack to spice it up?
That's what they need. They need an adult themed Ratchet and Clank.
How did you feel about? I definitely heard mixed opinions on like teleporting around the level you're in. I think it looks cool, but how does it play? That's where I hear the opinions differing. How do you feel about it?
If you expect in the gameplay where, like from the trailers, you're transferring within a level from all these into a bunch of different levels at once, that's not really what's happening. Usually in a fight scene or a fight like arena, you can travel around the area quickly with that one-dimensional thing. And then sometimes while you are playing the game, it lets you travel to a completely different level. But it's not as much as you would maybe expect from the way the trailers described it. Like, you can jump in any level instantly. You can't. But they also give you a bunch of different ways to jump around levels. It's just more controlled. But it's still really dope. But yeah, it's maybe not like you can travel any level instantly within the level. It's not really doing that.
I mean, that just seems cool, though, teleporting around the level. That, to me, is like an explosive barrel or something. Like, it's another
for sure
level element. That seems fun.
Yeah. Even though we're winding down, I just finally pulled up YouTube to look at some footage. But it's awesome game. Loving it. And I'm thinking what else is like big that's coming from PlayStation this year?
Returnal?
Well, Returnal kicks my ass and I can't play it. So
I feel like that's the only big thing they had, like Cyberpunk, but that got taken down.
You know what? That was recently announced. It's coming back. It's like June 20 something. So it's this month.
Yeah. I would be curious. There were rumors that Sony kept it down as like revenge against CD Projekt Red. I don't know if that's true.
For what, though?
I forget the logic.
It's just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I did see that it was either CD Projekt Red or Sony advised that it's still not the best experience on the standard PlayStation 4. It's really PS4, PS5 will handle the game a bit better. While there's a 30-hour playthrough.
It still makes me so sad that everyone's not having the experience we had with it.
Yeah, because we got to play on PC and it was fine. It was buggy, but nothing that took you. I mean, sometimes I was taken out of the experience, but nothing that was a huge detriment to the game. I still got the core experience and had fun playing it. But yeah, it's great that people are going to finally be able to play it.
I'd still recommend it to people. Like, some people at work were just like, I don't know. And I'm like, dude, you have a PlayStation 5.
Right.
This is like what next-gen games are out. Get Cyberpunk. It is a next-gen game, I would fully say. It is.
Sometimes I look back at it thinking, I mean, the hype did not help it at all. It's really an advanced GTA, I guess you could say it is. But it does a lot of these things very well. It's just maybe not the second coming like we were imagining it to be, but it's also part of the consumer's end. Like, we really hyped this up. Maybe we were hyped by the devs. I mean, we for sure were, but we kind of put a lot of energy into this game and expecting it to do more than it really could at the time. So the stuff like the AI is still very standard. Even the branches you can take narratively, they're still kind of, limited. So we were expecting something incredibly different, but it was more of just your standard FPS kind of RPG, but it was still good. It still did a good job at those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had fun. I played 100 hours of it basically. So I got my fill of it. I am excited for eventually some DLC coming out to jump back in. But other than that, I've played so much of it that I will wait until some kind of new content comes out.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think they have to work on getting the game playable and stuff, at least on console and PS4 especially. So they got a lot of work to do. But then they had that whole huge leak that happened where everything was revealed or let go. So they got to deal with that. They got a lot of issues going on for sure.
And EA got leaked recently. Everyone's getting leaked.
Everyone's getting leaked on ridiculous. And leaked. Yeah, it's happening.
It's it's interesting. My work, they're trying to basically the insurance companies at this point trying to get us off their insurance, because that's the problem with these. The insurance companies just don't want to pay out.
Oh yeah, that's their whole MO. It's to not pay.
Right. So at this point, it's just we need you to put your servers in a mile of cement.
Why?
It's gonna have about we need a 5-tier password. We need they're just asking all these things. It's just it's not gonna be possible to do your job. But I was like, well, we also want to pay out. So, and everyone's getting hacked right now. So
right, you got to.
I mean, they could be losing money at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. No one wants to worry about security until some shit goes down.
Yeah.
All right, Gavin. Well, enough blabbering. We have so much E3 stuff to go through. Really, I think everything has been laid out on the table, measured. It's all out there now. Now, especially with Nintendo having their Direct this morning, I don't think there's anything still huge left on the table. I know Xbox, they had their thing on Sunday, but they are going to show more gameplay on certain games on the 17th. So in a couple days. So they did announce that. Yeah, it's just, I think it's just like to touch base on various games. But yeah, so we'll get into Xbox here. So we have the first big one. They started off the show with the reveal of Starfield in-engine gameplay. So you saw this. What'd you think about it?
One thing I'll say is I think this looks very doable graphically wise.
Yeah, were you maybe...
Like, it looks great.
I wasn't blown away. It looks like that's that same engine. I think it looks great, though.
Yeah.
But if we were expecting, like, something crazy advanced, because that's one of the taglines they even mentioned on the show, we've been waiting for the technology to be there. Okay. And this looks like it's, their same engine and everything, but maybe there's more stuff underneath the hood. But, no, it looks great.
I like the HUD on that gun. That looks really cool.
I thought first that was a glitch. Happening in real time, but no, that's like on purpose, the little ammo thing on your gun. The engine looks great. I do have some stuff pulled up. There was an interview with Todd Howard right afterwards. He kind of detailed some of the gameplay just a little bit. So this is from Telegraph UK, had the interview with Todd Howard. More hardcore RPG than previous Bethesda games, speaking on Starfield, can be played in first or third person. It's grounded in scientific reality, but still a game. So there's lasers in a vacuum, just stuff that makes the gameplay fun. Alien races and planets. It's very big, and gameplay reveal will be closer to launch. So we're going to see some...
Gameplay reveal closer to launch? That seems odd.
I guess they're still working on it. They have a whole year, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not till next November. This thing's coming out.
I wonder if Microsoft just popped in and was just like, yeah, the fire is under the ass now.
Yeah.
Go.
How do you feel about them showing this off with a year, basically a year in advance? Because this is different from the whole Fallout 4 reveal where it was shown off and then 4 months later it came out.
I'd almost prefer that. That just closer to launch. I'm curious about. I didn't hear his statements afterwards. The fact that he's saying this is a more hardcore. I know somebody was saying they talked about something he said, I guess, where they're saying like just getting off the planet is going to be a challenge. So that's got me really curious. What the heck's going on with this? But I could go with a little more hardcore. Any of the Elder Scrolls aren't that hardcore. Fallout's not that hardcore after the first 20 hours.
True.
So yeah, I guess that's got me curious. But again, what's the technology that wasn't possible until now? Maybe it's their engine has been so crappy that making a game has been challenging.
I wonder if because if you're leaving the planet, it's hard to get off the planet. Is it kind of a No Man's Sky situation where it's they're rendering a lot, behind the scenes, or just developing the engine that can let you link between traveling to another world, which takes time, or creating that distance in space? How does that work? Are you just warping? I don't know.
Yeah. I hope there's something cool we're not seeing. I think there's a good chance there's something very cool we're not seeing. That's a good point.
I will pull up the logo or the key art for the game because some people are saying right. Some people are saying that the box art kind of reveals something about time that might be in play. So here is this. It looks sort of like an hourglass. So I'm going to pull up on the screen here. And they're thinking maybe there's time aspects going on.
The two planets?
Yeah. Well, just like from the top of the planet down to the bottom, it kind of looks like an hourglass putting down like sand. That's how they work, how time works. Like sense. If that's a play on the fact that you're going to be traveling between time, or that's part of the gameplay mechanic. But it's a very epic, like Star Wars style graphic, and looks really dope.
So we're saying Outer Wilds mixed with whatever the game you were just playing.
Ratchet.
Mixed with Ratchet, where not only are you traveling to all these worlds, but you're switching between times.
Right.
Yes, exactly.
As a possibility. Now, one aspect they confirmed, which I think we're all kind of on board, but there was still some speculation, is that this is only coming to Xbox platforms. Because that was one of the the questions with that acquisition. How do you feel about this only being on Xbox?
You got it. They put down 10, was it 10 billion?
It's like 7.5, I want to say.
You put down the B's. Get the G's.
That makes sense because, I mean, you spend that much money, you want to make sure that I'm sure there's some games that are Bethesda run that are going to come cross-platform beyond the two that are assigned already, Deathloop and Ghostwire. But yeah, it makes sense. You spend so much money, it's like of course that they would do this. So
it is kind of crazy, like the sheer volume of Western style RPGs coming to Xbox. Not only that, but to Game Pass day one, and one that I didn't even realize until today is coming to Game Pass day one, is Atomic Heart, which is probably the one I'm most excited about.
Let's skip to that one. I have it here in my endless loop of.
That is so many trailers.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is.
It was
that's the crazy bat shit.
And it was a great weird trailer too.
Yeah.
Like, oh man.
Pretty short, but
that's the thing. In addition to their first party stuff that's like guaranteed Game Pass, they're making a lot of deals with these third parties to get it on Game Pass as well, which is going to be awesome for Game Pass.
Right?
Yeah, the weird like song in the background and the stuff that's going on. I love these. These are like from Alien Isolation, those weird robot guys.
The design on these robots I love. It's so creepy. Weird. That's terrifying. But just the amount of weird sci-fi mechanics we see in this, like I feel like there's new ones every trailer.
Oh yeah.
I'm just imagining like maybe I'm overhyping it in my head, but with the amount of stuff we've seen in this, I feel like it's going to be like, imagine Fallout, like a 3D Fallout, but every like little town or city you see has like a weird new mechanic. Like they've seemed to have enough stuff they could kind of almost do that. I don't know.
I'm very excited for this game. I love stuff like
Xbox Cloud Gaming too.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. So it's God, what's their cloud service? Now I'm blanking on it. xCloud. I don't know why they wouldn't just call it xCloud unless they're going to change it to Xbox Cloud Gaming. But no, that's a great get for Game Pass, and I just love weird games. And so like say Control or Returnal, I love stuff that's just you don't understand it the more you play it too, or the more you watch trailers. Same with Death Stranding too. So it's like I gravitate towards the stuff, and you already have the BioShock weird like first person action gameplay. I'm on board. I cannot wait for this game.
To me, this feels like BioShock mixed with Fallout. Just like take my wallet.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I had the date on this one here. I want to say it's still like 2021. They haven't nailed down the date. Yeah, just coming to Game Pass, no date yet on this thing.
Sure.
But
that sucker has been in development. I feel like it's one of those ones where it's been in development so long. Like when we first saw footage, this was impossible. Now this is very reasonable.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, now it can be done. Speaking of one that does look not possible, is they spent some time showing off Stalker 2, which is also coming to Game Pass.
So here's a question: is there's like this new stereotype with these Russian games where they're the fucking prettiest ones on the market?
Yeah, it's just kind of a whirlwind of these right now, where it's what Metro has been doing. That they've been kind of keeping this thing alive for a while, like just these beautiful post-apocalyptic games. But you have this. I want to say Atomic Heart is also Russian.
Yep. There's also another one that looks so what's the one I wrote? Tarkov?
Oh, Escape from Tarkov?
Escape from Tarkov, and I saw one that looks like that but with more of like a sci-fi twist with a lot of the stuff. I forget what it's called. Game? Yeah, I can't for the life of me remember that. It's got a super generic name. It's probably like it's called Chernobyl Light.
Oh, I am interested in that one. That looks cool.
Looks great.
Yes.
So
there is kind of a lot of these coming out at once, or at least getting a lot of attention at once. So it'll be interesting.
I think the thing that's going to be neat with Atomic Heart, God, that's fucking pretty.
Yeah.
God.
Like, and we keep pushing the ante, and like this one is at the forefront.
I guess I'm nervous about this though, because I think the last one, I don't remember it looking great at the time, but the way they made stuff so moody, I hear it's terrifying.
Oh, I'm sure. I remember watching footage of it, never played it.
Oof. So give it looks too. Like I don't think I can play this. I'm gonna poop my pants.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love he's using these bolts to see where these weird anomalies are, and that weird antenna, Wi-Fi or 5G thing he's got going. Yeah, and the facial capture stuff is dope. This one, it's very much on my radar.
I really like the facial. I think the one thing I don't like about the facial capture is it's so good. I want to watch it and not read the text.
Oh, sure.
God, the background. This is the thing that keeps like blowing my mind. Is like the characters look pretty good. These backgrounds look photorealistic.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. I like the fact that some of the floorboards give under him while he's dancing.
Yes, yeah,
nice
I love that touch. Yeah, no, this game looks incredible, and coming to Xbox Series X and PC, and yeah.
I mean, I don't think the fans of Stalker thought they were getting another Stalker game. So this is. Can you imagine being a Stalker fan?
Yeah, all 5 of them out there are very jacked. But yeah, there's been a good amount of time talking about Stalker.
Yeah.
Go down our list here. We got the next one is Back for Blood. Got some time. This one's coming out soon. Is this? Are you interested? This is from the original makers of the zombie one that people love. That I'm blanking on.
It is by Turtle Rock Studios, I think. Yep, Turtle Rock. So these guys made Evolve.
And the zombie one.
Yeah, they did work on the original Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
Then they made Evolve, which was a game that eventually got good after the player base was gone.
That's the thing. And this relies heavily on a player base to be there. So,
yeah, I think this is gonna be a blast. Like, I don't think I'll be curious to see how long it lasts, because the original Left 4 Dead, people were playing this thing for way too long.
Oh, for sure.
So will this have the same following? I remember the initial beta that they put out for this, people felt the controls were a little wonky.
Okay.
So hopefully they fixed that, made that a little bit more normal.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you excited for this? Would you play this? Did you like the original?
Not
Left 4 Dead?
exclusively where I would buy something just to play this type of gameplay, but that is what I like about Call of Duty, is that they always have their zombie aspect to it, so I can jump in and out. But knowing how hugely popular Call of Duty Zombies is, I think this is going to do insanely well, because it's been a while since this game has another game like this has been out that focuses just on the zombie combat with the Call of Duty, first person shooting.
Right.
So this is the first competition to that in a while, and it leans heavier on it. It seems like they're really focused on all these different enemy types and stuff. So I think it's going to do awesome numbers.
I'll be curious to see. So I've recently gotten into Vermintide 2, and I absolutely adore Vermintide 2. I hope, because they have a style of game of that coming out in the 40K universe. I truly hope that there is enough room for both to exist simultaneously. Also, is this free on Game Pass?
This is, Game Pass day one. So it's coming out October 12th.
So that's the thing. Even if I'm not excited to buy this, we can both download it, play it for a weekend, have a blast, never look at it again.
That's what's pretty amazing.
Man, that's soon.
October 12th. And I keep thinking, I'm sure there's way smarter people that are handling this, but I don't know how Game Pass is sustainable with all these games coming to Game Pass.
Neither, I'm nervous.
You're just paying what, $10-15 a month,
yeah.
But somehow the devs are still getting recouped enough, and Xbox is making their nut somehow. How are we? Because it seems like such a great deal for consumers that how are people getting paid? But they must have figured out a way. It's crazy because it's such a good deal.
I'm excited. That looks fun enough for me to play it free on Game Pass.
Right, exactly. No, there's a ton of them, and a lot of their focus this E3 was I think it was 30 games shown, 20 something of them being on Game Pass day one.
I think that's another great thing about Game Pass too, is I'm playing stuff I would never play. I played that dodgeball game the other day. I would never pay for that thing.
Oh, the Knockout City?
Yeah, I hopped in, had fun. Yep. I don't regret downloading it. It'd be nice if xCloud was there a little better, so you could pop in and not have to download it.
Oh, that's the next step. Yeah, actually stream it instantly.
But I'm definitely more willing to try stuff out, do that thing. And
yep. So this one, the footage we're watching now is Contraband. So this is an Xbox exclusive. Coming to Game Pass. Is from Avalanche Studios, makers of Just Cause. Just a CG trailer, no date, but they did show off this little teaser here.
I guess I'd be a little concerned, because from basically to a certain degree, what the developer that worked on
I was thinking Conkers, but no, it's the other furry game that came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Biomutant. Basically, they made it sound like the good people from Avalanche went to that studio. So what's left? Sure. What are these people going to make? I don't know. Hopefully it's good. That trailer tells us fuck all.
Yeah. Jack Diddley on that. But at least, it's an announcement. They're working on it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves got some DLC. Which
I was wrong. So that's in my predictions. I did pull up my prediction list. I was wrong on this one. I said they were going to do Sky of Thieves or something big and new. I wouldn't count this as big and new. This is more in that vein. Do we really know is this finally a campaign for Sea of Thieves?
So it's a free expansion as far as what I've read about it. I don't think it's a separate game. It seems like if you have the game, it's a free add-on to that game, but it has some kind of single-player component to it, or at least storyline. But a lot of what they're showing are these cutscene aspects of the game. So I don't know. And then you have Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean in it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's Johnny Depp voicing him, but who knows?
I mean, having a single player is nice, because to my understanding, they're just I don't know, here's a world, go, and people are fine with that. It's fun.
Yeah.
So
I imagine you're still with your party if you want, and you interact with Jack Sparrow somehow, or he's giving you these missions. Yeah, not sure, but it's a huge get for Rare to align with Disney and have this huge property. I mean, Pirates of the Caribbean is huge,
right?
So I think people are gonna eat this up.
Totally fits in with this world that's already magical as is,
right?
That guy looks so very little like Johnny Depp. It is kind of insane.
Well, he's like cartoon. It's almost like a Fortnite version of him.
Right.
But yeah, they announced that. Got our next one here as I switch over. So we got some Battlefield gameplay. That was pretty big.
This looks so good.
Yeah, so they showed off
big long trailer.
Quite a bit. We got the grappling hook. I know you're saying this is the season of the grappling hook. It basically feels that way. That's showing off. The whole 128 player gameplay was showing off.
Huge map. Yeah. Look at that fucking thing.
It's pretty nuts.
How many vehicles you can see on the ground, in the air. Like, I guess it sounds like there's going to be a shit ton of vehicles too. And something I was looking through, I was watching some videos by Battlefield players, and one of the big things they notice as they're really picking through every frame of this footage is the vehicles this time around have more seats, and a lot more of those seats are gunner seats. So if you got a tank full of buds, you're gonna wreck shop. You got a helicopter, so
I wonder if that's going to be a challenge for them to balance, that having all these vehicles with weapons, if you still want to run and gun, can you do that but still be competitive? I don't know.
I mean, it used to be more vehicle based, and that's been a big complaint from the community.
Gotcha.
I did notice that they said that the physics engine has been completely changed out, and this is one that, we look at that car being crushed by that tank. I'm very curious to see what all that affects besides this massive, gorgeous looking tornado.
Yeah, it's dope. And you have your wingsuit you can enable. It looks really nuts. Do you have any issues with the fact that it's full retail price and it's just the multiplayer?
Personally, no.
Yeah.
I can see how people would, though, but not me.
I think what gives these games the legs that they have is the multiplayer. So, lean into it. Maybe make it a bit cheaper, but if you pad it enough with all these different game modes and stuff you can do, then I guess it's fine to charge that.
I guess I could see maybe taking issue from, so this is $70.
Yeah, next gen, yeah.
Plus Game Pass. Or not Game Pass, plus
EA,
Season Pass.
Oh, Season Pass, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think if it would just come with it, but they got to make their money back somehow, I guess.
There's so many vehicles and like shit exploding in the shot too. Yeah. I absolutely... but it's really, it feels like this is going to be bringing back that awesome thing, which is basically the Battlefield moments.
Right.
Where you can't get this shit anywhere else.
No, this is something, Call of Duty can't do.
So
it almost looks like too hectic for me because I'm a noob and there's a lot going on. But I think that community wants this kind of thing.
We'll see how that turns out. I don't know. I typically have played the console version over the PC just because I like a slightly smaller player size. But they said they're pumping up the maps, whereas previously PC and console had the same maps.
Oh, I see. So. Gotcha. Yeah, it looks dope. I was expecting some kind of free on Game Pass announcement, but also that would look really bad because the pre-order's already unlocked, last week when they showed off the trailer?
Yeah,
so for them to do that and then have a week and then say it's free on Game Pass, like that would have made a lot of people angry. It is part of that EA Play or whatever their EA subscription service is. So you can play it. I want to say it's for a week for free if you have that service. So there's a little bit of a way to jump in for not paying, the $60 to try it out. But yeah.
It's going to be a packed October. What was the other thing coming out in October?
I know we got Far Cry around then. There's a couple of games around then.
Yeah.
But this one was kind of leaked last time we met, and they officially unveiled that Psychonauts 2 is coming out in August. So let me pull up the actual date here, and they show off a little trailer. So August 25th, finally coming out.
Yeah. I'm ready. It is kind of crazy, though, with these graphics, though. They've been working on this for so long, and clearly haven't tuned up the graphics in that time, but it still looks great. It still looks fun. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna love it. Yeah,
it's not like say Ratchet level, but I think they've been working on just story and mechanics and stuff for so long, and that's what they've been dialing in. But still looks really good. But yeah, is it gonna blow your mind as far as just the graphics alone? But then say like not A Way Out, but It Takes Two that we played. It visually wasn't going to blow your socks off, although it looked really amazing at certain points. But
it was Takes Two, that absolutely blew my socks off.
But I would put this, in my mind, they look very similar with what, as far as like the details on stuff. But they nailed it with the gameplay. It's one of my favorite games so far this year. So if they can do that with this kind of thing.
If they can bring the level design like they did with the last one, the creativity.
Yeah,
it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, and this is coming out soon, and it's Game Pass as well. I mean, they're all Game Pass basically.
I'm gonna barely pay for anything anymore.
Right.
It's nuts.
So they did spend some time on Fallout 76. They announced some DLC. This one was interesting. It's called The Pit. So they're going to Pittsburgh in this Expedition DLC coming out.
So to my understanding, The Pit was a previous expansion for a different Fallout.
Oh, gotcha.
I think it was like Fallout 2.
Gotcha. Where was the top-down view of it?
Yeah, isometric. So I believe a lot of people really liked that DLC, or not DLC, that was an expansion back in the day.
Right.
So I imagine this is a pretty big deal. I don't know how it affects lore-wise. I did also see an announcement for today as well. I guess they had this mod community had a little E3 of their own. They released, I think they released Fallout London.
Fallout London, nice.
Yeah, as a mod, and it looks good. Looks like Fallout 3 and 4. That being said, the guy narrating it, his British accent is so thick.
It's got to be thick. It's London, man.
Couldn't understand a fucking word.
Good.
But
our freedom gets in the way.
This is what I've been wanting for a long time, is give me a Fallout in a different country.
Right. Yeah, we've been in America this whole time. Although I don't know enough about the Fallout lore to know what places were totally demolished with the nuclear attacks, because that is a thing where a lot of the planet was wiped out, but I'm sure there's these cities that still survived.
Well, the thing I think my buddy Billy's theory was that eventually they'll do a Fallout China, and they'll find out, because I think in the lore China bombed us and Vault Tech protected everyone. So his theory is like they do Fallout China and America bombed them and Vault Tech protected them. So really it was Vault Tech that bombed everyone.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I like that aspect of it.
All right.
I think in this day and age, you can do a Fallout China, but then you just have to go through that process of making sure they're cool with it.
Yeah.
And getting John Cena to make an apology video. It's like it's all got to combine together.
I heard something of that, but didn't actually look into it.
Yeah, it's a thing. You can check it online. But that looks dope. I love the Fallout community just making these intense, DLCs that just expand the game, basically. It's dope. And they really add, like, there was another big one that happened a couple months ago where they added more vehicles and different storylines and, like, voice acting to it. It's pretty nuts.
People, man.
People are crazy. So we got next one here, a little bit on this game called Somerville. So they just showed this trailer here. And I'm losing track of my mouse here. Okay, so it's a new game from Jump Ship called Somerville, 2022, also on Game Pass. So this one, I thought first it was the game, the devs behind Inside, Playdead, but it's not. But if we fast forward to some of the gameplay, it looks a lot like that with the way you move in this like 2D kind of space, 2.5D or whatever. But I loved Inside. I don't know if you ever played it, but you got to play it.
No, but
dude.
Ooh, some of the I haven't seen this trailer.
Gotcha.
Up until now, it definitely, like, the first thing I think is Inside.
Right. The same visual style. Maybe it's not as weird, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on that doesn't make sense.
Lighting, so yeah,
and you have a family that you're kind of traveling with.
You got the dog and somebody bopping around with a sniper laser arm cannon thing. Hey, that was pretty cool. The sci-fi-ness looks neat.
It seems like you're a family, and then some sci-fi end of the world stuff starts going down, and you have to then guide your family through it.
Yeah. Cool.
That's what I gather from the little trailer here.
Down, free on Game Pass?
Yes, free on Game Pass, 2022.
Sweet.
So, this damn mouse. So, the next one here is Plague Tale. Didn't play Plague Tale, the original one, but we got a Plague Tale sequel coming out.
The fans are so psyched. I don't think they thought they were getting a second one.
Right.
I know this
quality looks amazing on it.
It was kind of dubbing itself as like a AAA indie. I know, like, story-wise, it starts off normal and ends pretty bonkers. Like, there's, like, tornadoes of rats towards the end.
Oh, God.
Like,
well, this trailer shows.
Yeah, so you start seeing shit like this.
It's like The Shining. Instead of blood, it's rats coming out. Looks nuts.
So, good to see that's being turned up to 1,000.
This was on a lot of Game of the Year awards when it came out, and I just never got into it, but I do want to go back and try this now.
I think what I heard from a lot of commentators when this was announced was them desperately trying to convince other people who hadn't played it to play it.
Right.
I guess it's only like 4 hours long.
Okay.
So we really don't have an excuse. It's probably free on Game Pass too.
Oh, I'm sure. I think they confirmed that too. I'm assuming. I have it here. Plague Tale 2. Well, so far I don't have that revealed as far as Game Pass, but the next one here, 12 minutes.
Excited, finally coming out. Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, this one has a huge cast. So it's Daisy Ridley, right, from Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're showing right now Willem Dafoe, James McAvoy, I want to say, was in this.
Yep.
So you're in a time loop of 12 minutes, and I guess you have to try and figure out what's going on, or like make your way through this loop that's happening.
Sounds super interesting. And let me some
Very
clockwork games.
Right. That's August 19th.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
So got that one happening. We got the Replace. So this one looks insane.
Everyone's raving about the graphics on this one,
Yeah.
man. It is.
And it's like, it's mind-blowing graphics, but it's because they've combined different styles together, I think, is what makes it so unique.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cyberpunk. You got the voxel thing going on, but like realistic lighting.
I think the lighting's really, besides the really good, pixel art, the lighting really takes this up there.
And when they get into the gameplay, it looks fun to play as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this weird cross between, is this, just like realistic kind of environment, or is it pixelated? It's both.
I love the reflection on the ground there. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really nuts looking. I want more games like this. I want all games to be like this. If you do Halo Infinite, I want it to be like this.
I promise this is like almost as hard, if not as hard, as doing like 3D games.
Oh, I'm sure, because it's such a unique style and it's got to work. Otherwise, stuff sticks out.
Yeah. Ooh, that shot is
right.
just astounding. Hopefully, it plays good.
I get like Castlevania kind of vibes. The action, anyways. Like, man, it kind of came out of nowhere.
I do hope they do a weird like tilt shift thing with the camera during these fight scenes. If they actually make that work in the gameplay, that would be really cool.
I do hope that's there. Yes.
Yeah.
Give this dev like the rights to John Wick.
Yes.
I mean, that would kill it as John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe we don't need to keep rehashing stuff and over again. Just do a new title, which is what they're doing.
Right.
But Replaced. It's coming to Game Pass in 2022. So you talked about Atomic Heart. They showed off some gameplay, and it's also coming to Game Pass. Mm-hmm. So The Ascent, this is another one that's also on my radar. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
I believe we've seen footage of this game already, but it's just dope looking.
A lot of press got access to play it, and they said it was super fun.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks really cool. I think this is one we can, if this is on Game Pass, we could jump in and play together. I think you kind of have to have a team that you can work with this kind of gameplay.
Oh, is it co-op?
I believe so. I see 4 people. I assume it is.
Yeah.
Maybe you can fill with bots and stuff like that.
Hadn't even noticed. Yeah, I'm totally down.
But
that
coming
looks like
July,
a blast.
so that's very soon. So moving along here, we got...
I keep trucking. This trailer was great.
It was hilarious. So Outer Worlds 2. I love that they were self-aware and referenced the fact that nothing's ready but this title scene or sequence.
I mean, we got that, sometimes that's nice. Like, we got that forever ago with, like, Kingdom Hearts. So, like, yeah, it's finally in development. Didn't come out for another, like, 6 years.
Yep.
But it's good to know. I really like Now, how do you feel about, like, do they make it longer? Do they keep it about the same length and just as packed?
Interesting. I don't know, because the team is now split. They have, multiple ways, right? They have Avowed. They have Outer Worlds 2. They have Grounded, which they announced more DLC for that game. So I don't know if this means that the development will take longer.
Yeah.
It seems like they're trying to do more stuff. If you pull anything from that CG trailer that we're watching, maybe it seemed a bit more actiony in some of the gameplay stuff. I don't know if that's what they're going for with the gameplay. I don't know. They can keep it the same way and just kind of add more story aspects to it.
Yeah.
But I fell off. I didn't finish the game. So
it's fun.
Yeah.
It was good. I felt it was good to the end. Last chapter probably wasn't as good because it glitched on me. So like I got the whole city pissed at me. So if I was just walking down the streets, I was having to fight guards.
Gotcha.
Which is not as fun as it sounds.
This would be good for, in my mind, like personally, just bridging the gap between Fallouts, because I think they do such a good job, and it's going to be a while before any kind of Fallout stuff comes out.
I think the thing that's going to be weird is you basically finish that plot line for that galaxy that you're in.
Oh, okay. Do you think they stay in that one, or just different galaxy, like Andromeda kind of thing?
I hope they move galaxies, because it's finished. That story is done.
Gotcha.
So
interesting.
We'll see. This looks fun.
Yeah, so we got some gameplay of Forza Horizon 5.
I keep saying this before it's actually shown. I apologize.
No problem at all. Yeah, so they showed off. I was expecting more focus on Forza Horizon, which was the reboot they showed off.
Yeah.
But this is Forza Horizon 5, which is coming out, October? It's very soon.
Yeah. More October. Jesus. It's going to be a packed October. I did. Oh, man, the reflection in that window is insane.
Everything's ray traced. Your mom's ray traced. It's all ray traced. I love it.
I did hear some people commentating on this that were Forza fans. They're like, man, this looks really cool, but I'd love it if they did like, my favorite parts is when they do this silly track DLCs and later in the trailer they show the silly tracks and they're like, yeah, day one, I'm on board.
Oh yeah, they have to do it.
So
and they're really focused on showing the environment first, and then the cars, spins out into the scene. They're almost like focusing on the fact that this engine isn't just for when you're driving fast. Like you can slow down and take everything in. It's beautiful no matter what. Yeah, this is nuts. This is an easy Game Pass game. Like, of course I'm downloading this.
Sure.
And that's what I love about Xbox is that like I'm lucky enough where I have a high-end PC and I don't have an Xbox Series X, so I'll just play it on my PC instead, but still get all the same basic visuals that you'd get on next gen. So I'm gonna skip around. I forgot the crazy track that you mentioned at the end.
I think it's towards here we start seeing just bowling through. People love this. I guess like the people just rave about the Hot Wheels DLC they did.
Yep. Yeah, I love in the trailer. They're talking about like Mexico and being realistic to like actual Mexican cities and the environment. And then they showed this as like, oh, this is another place in Mexico. This massive bowling alley that's somewhere.
I feel like you don't see Mexico as a setting in very many games at all.
You don't, and when it does, it's like drug cartels and stuff, and it's always darker, like orange colors. Like they're really leaning into how unique and colorful Mexico is. I don't know, I've never been there, but from what I see on pictures, it is cool.
Well, speaking of South America, do we have the footage from Far Cry?
I did pull that up just because we've seen stuff on Far Cry 6.
Was that during the Xbox conference?
They did spend some time. Yeah.
This facial animation.
So this is from the Xbox conference. Yeah, so they showed...
So bad.
I'm going to skip here, and we'll peruse through it.
Is this... Yeah, it is.
But they're trying to show off some of the facial stuff, which it isn't as tight as you'd want. Everything else looks really cool, but it's just the one-on-one, especially when you have such a high-end actor playing that main villain.
Yeah.
Some of the facial stuff falls apart.
Feels like kind of a waste.
But they did show off, I want to say in the same trailer...
I wonder if this was a different press conference that this one was.
So this is from the Xbox one, but the one that we were picking apart talking about was from another one. I think it was from Square Enix or Ubisoft. No, it was Ubisoft's own.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Ubisoft had kind of a fun press conference.
Yeah. So you got a little bit at the end here.
I'm sure this is going to be fun though.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. Another October game, so.
It's going to be the most Far Cry game to ever Far Cry.
Got a little chorizo there.
Trees.
So the next one, Redfall, which this was just a CG footage that they showed off.
I already sold. This dev has a blank check for my wallet.
Right? So it's Arcane's new Xbox exclusive open world co-op shooter. Seems to feature multiplayer gameplay with players using special powers, unique weapons, fight off hordes of vampires coming summer 2022. But the CG looked, amazing. I'd love to see what the gameplay looks like, but it's just giving you an idea of the gameplay. But you got a lot of weird power stuff going on. You got the villain or the vampires. Little bot following you.
I want to know more about the powers. It seems like one gal's got like a voodoo theme a little bit going on with like her skeleton glove. I don't know what the hell this phone booth thing is. They take off, but then they come back.
Yeah, she reminds me of like Green Lantern where he can render or imagine anything and then it becomes a reality. So I feel like it's kind of that same vibe.
This girl's like an inventor. She's got that gun. She's also got the robot. I don't know what this photographer guy does. Is he out there playing Pokemon Snap with the with the vampires? The other guy's like a sniper from hell. So yeah, what's the nerdy guy's deal?
I was hoping the fact that he's documenting stuff, it'd be cool if that's a mechanic where you have to document things, but there's some kind of incentive, like you get something for doing that.
Like BioShock, you deal more damage.
Interesting, but for documenting though, like for okay, I don't know what BioShock mechanic you're
1 and 2. They give you cameras and
you're right.
Yeah, the first one you take pictures, the second one you take video, and I guess you get more points depending on like how many enemies you can cram in there.
You know what? I forgot about that because I hated that. So now that I think about it, I don't want that in this game. But maybe it could work.
I only knew about that. I never did that when I originally played it, but when I was going back through looking at like a build guide, they're like, you absolutely need to do this if you want to be really strong. And yeah, you are fucking buff.
I see. Yep. I never did that. So
I mean, I just trust this dev. It's been a while. I don't feel like we've gotten many vampire games where you're not the vampire, though.
Yeah, it's kind of a trope that's gone away as far as games go. So there's like that vampire, franchises out there, but yeah.
But you are the vampire in that, though.
Exactly.
Everyone wants to be the vampire.
Yeah, they're never the monsters.
This was okay.
Yeah, so they showed off the mini fridge is it's a real thing, and it's coming out this holiday.
That's a small fridge that I'll probably get for my work.
It's dope. I don't know how expensive it's going to be, but I do kind of want this thing.
Based on, we were looking at mini fridges the other day, I'm going to go with $400.
Is there a way to bake in an Xbox Series X into the fridge to where it's your one thing? It's a fridge, but also plays Call of Duty. So you can keep your Monster energy drinks. You got your
Call of Duty. CPU cold, although it's collecting moisture.
But it's a thing to shut it off there.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next one. There was a big one, Halo Infinite. They showed off some actual gameplay. I'm going to adjust this camera here.
You know, somebody made an excellent point about the footage of this game.
Yeah.
Halo doesn't show well. Like it's so fun to play. It doesn't look that interesting when you're watching it.
I mean, I thought it looked dope.
Yeah.
I think they did what they should have done, which was focus on multiplayer, especially getting close to release. But I'm a big fan of this open world aspect of Halo. I think it's going to be really cool. But yeah, I think it was a great showing. But I can understand where it's like the fun of it is jumping in and playing it, feeling all the weapons.
I like this bit. This is I know we have a lot of time, but we should watch this small little John Wicky, even though he's just flying around a thing. He's just, I mean, this is Spartan, what is he, 216 or whatever?
117. How dare you go?
He has been fighting wars since most people have been in diapers.
Yeah. He needs to take a break.
Yeah. I think he has taken a break.
Oh, true. They froze him at one point.
That's one.
Yeah, like he's using the environment to get around this little cutscene here. And then they show off Cortana, which is not the real Cortana. It's like a copy of her.
Yeah.
Which I'm really curious to see what they do with that story-wise.
Yeah.
I never really committed to 5 to understand, because apparently Cortana, story-wise, she's going rampant, which was always a thing in the storyline.
Yeah.
Eventually it was going to happen. It's happening to her. She's going crazy, becoming a villain. I would love for her to be fully like the main villain. Maybe they did that in 5. I honestly didn't play enough. But I would love for it to come full circle where she's the main antagonist.
Right. His boots seem to have a weird gravity. I wonder if they're like semi-magnetic.
Possibly. Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. I hope good things. I know you're the Halo guy.
Yeah, somehow I became the Halo guy.
I'm curious who's playing her.
I thought it was Ashley Johnson, but I looked at her Wikipedia and I didn't see that credit yet. But the chick who's Ellie from The Last of Us, it sounded like her.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. I just got those vibes. It also looks like one of the hosts from IGN, but I'm pretty sure it's not her.
She does definitely have a very specific posture that reminds me of somebody. Her voice does make me think of like a more classical cartoon voice actor. I feel like I've probably heard this voice in a lot of cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to jump into the story again and everything about this game. They're trying to get it back to like bare bones Halo, so I'm on board.
Thing that still weirds me out is the multiplayer is free.
That's a huge deal. I think that's a awesome choice to go with.
Yeah, not Game Pass, just free.
Yeah, especially since Halo has kind of gone, back and forth and been on the ropes a bit with their community. So if they can make it free to play, get as many people playing it as possible, just get it back on track, I think that's a great deal. Even though maybe they're losing money, quote unquote, you're still going to get people that are going to buy the base game to play the single player, and it's on Game Pass anyways. But the guns feel really tactical, like they feel like they should, at least from watching the footage.
Something I noticed, I couldn't tell if sprinting is in the game or you just have a naturally fast walk speed.
I don't know. Someone did point that out, that it seems like they're getting rid of some of the movement things that they've added in 5 and kind of stripping it down a little bit, but you might at least have sprinting. I think you kind of have to have something like that.
I don't know. I mean, literally everyone in these trailers look like they're sprinting.
That grappling hook is going to be dope too.
Yeah.
You could just grab stuff out of the sky.
Like this kind of shit. Get you some Halo moments.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. I did like that they did the little trick where he throws the grenade and it shoots the sword at him and he grabs it and gets somebody.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It looks dope. I cannot wait.
Worst case scenario, it's a lot of fun.
That's the thing. At least they're going to nail the fun aspect of it. Yeah. It's another challenge of making sure that the servers and everything works day one. That's usually the situation when something like this launches. And they had issues with Master Chief Collection. I imagine they're really going to try and avoid that fuck up again and make sure everything's dialed in as much as they can. But no, looks dope. I haven't been excited for a Halo game in I don't know how long.
Right. Yeah. See.
I love the skull from which was like a single player thing that would make the difficulty harder. It's almost like you can use that in multiplayer.
I thought they had a thing you could use it for in multiplayer, like capture the skull.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, there it is. There's the grenade.
Grabbing the yeah.
Some of the custom armor looks really fucking cool.
Yeah, that's one thing they got really good at is making this really cool armor.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we got that. We're talking about Cyberpunk.
Good.
The rest of this is other things that we should talk about, but I don't have the footage ready to go, but I will do it if you buy me time. So the last thing on Microsoft is they're going to hold an Xbox Game Showcase extended event on June 17th. So featuring chats with Double Fine, Obsidian, Ninja Theory, Rare, and more.
One thing that was on there that we didn't show is they did show some footage pretty quick of the newest expansion for it's where you're small.
Oh, Grounded.
Grounded.
Yeah, the Shroom and Doom.
That was one of my E3 predictions, which I said they have something big planned, and there's something big was they made the spiders bigger. So I'm counting that as a win, baby.
It's great that they're still supporting this game, and it's been about a year since this thing came out.
That sounds right. Yeah,
it was last summer.
So I don't know if there's a huge Grounded community.
I wonder. I think it's always big, like right when it launches, but if they can keep supporting it, like they've been doing, really. I love seeing the footage of the spider being the slider being drawn all the way down, where they're just this amorphous blob.
It's definitely the best implementation I've seen of an arachnophobia mode.
Yeah, do other games have that?
I think there's one other one that did that I forgotten of.
You got pets,
but
somehow?
it's a huge deal. The amount of people that played like Resident Evil 7 and just stopped at spider vagina.
She was super messed up.
Yeah.
That whole game is really creepy.
Yeah. So
you got this gargantuan.
And
you're right, where they just made the spider bigger. For anybody who wanted that.
Well, that's what they were saying. It's like literally no one wanted this, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I'll fight that thing all day.
Will you though? It's still pretty fucking terrifying.
If you woke up, it's all in your room. Yeah, maybe not.
I would love for this game to eventually like draw me in, but I still don't care for survival games.
That's the beauty of Game Pass, though. It's like you can jump in, play it, and see if you dig it. If not,
but if they put it on xCloud, then I don't even have to download it.
You have this obsession with xCloud. One day it will work, but I think we're still like 5 years away. But moving on, we got Square Enix. So they showed off some cool stuff here.
Squeenix, I'm very excited for. I just saw the Guardians trailer before.
Ooh, that was pretty.
We don't have to skip to that, but
gotcha.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, so they showed off footage, which had leaked a while ago. It was like grainy footage, but Rainbow Six is called Extraction. It was Rainbow Six Quarantine, now Extraction, which is an obvious choice why they had to change the name. But you got to see some gameplay here. This one doesn't, tickle my fancy, but people do dig the Rainbow Six games, especially the last one. So
I think the thing that has me interested is they mentioned how if you go in with an operator and you die, that operator is going to be like a hostage now. Oh. The alien's going to take your operator. So I would really, I don't know, in ways like I've never played Tarkov, but it kind of reminds me of Tarkov. So I hope the more successful missions you do in a row, the harder it gets. So the stakes just get higher. I could see streamers really loving this. That being said, this reminds me a ton of a game called GTFO.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah. So this just seems like GTFO.
Are they still adding some of the destruction parts of this game, or are they kind of leaving that behind? Oh,
yeah, there's a point where I think someone one person's being attacked by an enemy and the other person runs around, bursts through the wall, and gets
Kool-Aid
a hammer.
Style.
Yeah, this stuff's weird.
So you can't touch the goop, I imagine.
I don't know.
Because you got to shoot it to kind of like push it away.
Part of me wonders if it's like that actually really reminded me of GTFO.
There you go.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
You can stuff on the goop, but then you are then on the enemy's radar.
Oh, okay.
So I wonder if it kind of works like that.
It might.
But then you're shooting it to make it go away. So
gotcha. But maybe if you touch it, same StarCraft kind of thing.
But
yeah, they showed that off. This next one, Riders Republic. Man, I can't tell you how crunk I am for this game. I don't know if I ever play it.
This should have been here 6 months ago. That being said, that was the time to release a game. Where
if this was during the pandemic, I would have done anything. I never would have left the house. I guess we couldn't. But this would have been the game to play when you can't leave your house.
I hope they do allow like people flying down to be doing it at the same time as the people biking or whatever they're else doing down the hill.
Oh, sure. We really feel like it's just packed with people. I guess they just making sure they don't like bump into you and mess up your run. But if you still have people around you.
The thing I would adore them doing is just recreate. This reminds me so much of Tony Hawk's like what was it called, like American Skateland or something?
American Wasteland. Yep.
Yeah, I just want the American Wasteland built on top of this.
Yeah.
That was such a.
It does have that vibe. You're right.
Well, let me play the Yeti.
Yeah. But it seems like so you can snowboard, you can bike. I haven't seen skating, but maybe there is something like that.
They showed skating.
Oh,
they were in that hub area they were in. There was a bowl and there were people
see.
skating in it.
This seems like nausea-inducing, but still awesome at the same time.
Especially when he does the backflip.
I have not seen that yet.
I think our buddy Andy, he loves mountain.
Yeah, he mountain bikes.
Biking like this.
I imagine this is the shit he's doing too.
Yeah.
Going 80 miles an hour apparently. Yeah, that is nuts. Yeah, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
September 2nd, so it's very soon.
Sweet.
Got that going down, and
throw it on Game Pass.
Right. I think it's it's not EA, Square Enix. So maybe can come to Game Pass. So
is it? Did
I what?
I think you put the wrong thing. This is Ubisoft.
Yeah, Far Cry 6 is in there somewhere. Somehow.
Yeah, Rabbids is also Ubisoft. Rainbow Six is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft.
Oh, it is. Yeah, let's move to Ubisoft. I don't think there's any other. Oh, you know what? The last Square Enix one. Nope. Is that Ubisoft too? The Guardians of the Galaxy. Is
that was Square Enix.
That was Square Enix.
That was the only thing I saw in there worthwhile.
I'll pull that up. That one came out of nowhere, but it looks awesome.
The thing that, besides like the dialogue was funny, the graphics are really good. It looks like you definitely get to influence stuff. The thing I am hoping for with this combat is they say like, so you only control, what's his name? Quill?
Yeah, the main, yep.
But you can like point at an enemy and assign like an attack from one of your people. And I'm hoping it's a very similar situation to like Xenoblade Chronicles. I know that's probably a long shot, but they had a fun system where you issued commands to your party members to attack somebody and you could combo your stuff together.
Oh, okay.
And it felt super fun to do. So hopefully they do that, but that's probably...
They mentioned briefly too, I think one of the developers was saying in one of the trailers that you kind of have to manage the team. So like they can decide to do their own thing, which is very much Guardians of the Galaxy, like where they just don't agree on stuff. So I'd love for, if you are setting up something perfect and then someone throws a wrench into it, which then could cause like another fight scene somewhere else. Like I love how that could happen.
Yeah.
Or I guess the managing your team and like saying the right thing. Yeah, it could be really cool.
Yeah.
I like that I guess it rubs people the wrong way. It was the same with Square Enix did Marvel's Avengers, where they look sort of like the main actors from the cinematic universe, but different.
I mean, I think it's fine, but to my understanding, they look more like the comic.
Yeah.
Also, the Borderlands people, or the guys that did like Tales from the Borderlands, they did a Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Oh, okay.
And I think people complained about that one too because it looked more like the comic book.
Gotcha.
So.
But it's just tough now because we have, the cinematic stuff going on where we just think of those actors portraying these characters. But yeah, they are leaning heavy into the actual comic as the influence.
Yeah.
But this game looks dope. I had no idea, it wasn't even like rumored apparently. Well, it might have been, it was not on my radar, but.
Oh, that Star-Lord. If I had that, I'd put it on a jacket.
Yes, he would.
Which
and he's
would
got
not
pretty much
fit me at all, but still.
It's very much like the Thriller jacket from Michael Jackson's Thriller. So I wonder if he's like from the 80s more instead of like the 70s or something like that.
Oh, I like that theory.
But he's a pop culture, kid junkie. So
yeah,
that's the vibe I got. But this looks beautiful, crazy beautiful. In Nintendo's Direct today, they announced that this is coming to Switch, but through cloud streaming. So it is going to be there.
That's too bad, but still good.
I think that's the only way to get this thing on the Switch unless there's Switch Pro coming.
Right.
Which, you know what? There was rumored so much this year, the past month or two, nothing.
Yeah, this happens every year since the damn thing came out.
Yeah. Although it was the same with the Switch Lite. Eventually we got the Switch Lite. So I think seems like it's happening. It's just a different timetable.
Sure.
Than we're expecting. So we got, let's move on to Mario and Rabbids sequel. It was announced.
I can't believe this got announced.
Yeah, I don't give two shits for these games, but I know that people love them. But did you see some of this footage? What did you think about this?
So I almost beat the first one, and I hate tactical games. I hate tactics games. I had a blast, but because it's very fast paced. The battles are very, very fast paced. and every character has enough personality that they're kind of fun to play.
Yeah.
The Rabbids are legitimately funny and not overdone in this. Something I thought was interesting is, so it just did it there. In the original, when you get into a fight, you just fight where you're at. This one kind of looks like you transport to a different battlefield. So I'm curious how that affects things. Maybe that frees them up to do more interesting environments when you're roaming around, and then really more highly designed battlefields. I'm hoping they make the battles a little quicker. I think if you're in, you're out. That was sort of a problem that it didn't have as bad as that second South Park game, but it did still a little bit where it's just like, just make it a little faster.
I see.
But the first one was a blast. It was super tactical, and at the end, my Luigi was sniping bitches left and right.
As he should, yeah.
He was a one man, like an enemy would move, and he just he was in Overwatch permanently, and he'd just snipe everyone.
Nice.
That's great.
Cool. So we got that. They also showed off Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah.
So this apparently was known for a bit. I didn't realize it, but I just entered the URL into that thing, but that works.
Well, we got a new Avatar movie coming out. So
eventually, I know they've been working on it forever, but
they said this is showing off their new Ubisoft's, the newest iteration of their engine.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of this is CG, how much is engine, but it looks dope. It doesn't look like it's something that can't be done for sure. It looks like it can be done.
It's doable.
But I think this works perfectly as a game, like this environment, this world, more so than a movie. It's like, I think I really dug the first Avatar, watching theaters. It was awesome. I'm all set on newer Avatar movies. Just give us games. I think it could be way cooler.
I can see that.
Yeah, at one point you're flying rather, and then fighting against the humans and their little, their colonial ships there. And looks dope. I want to say they announced something about first person. So there's a little snippet in that trailer of you switching to first person. I want to say they said it's first person as well, which that seems way cooler to me as well. But it could be wrong.
Yeah. Super immersive in first person.
Right?
That'd be neat.
Yeah, the aero combat stuff looks dope. So this is on my radar. It's I think it's very early on. They're just showing off this CG stuff.
Right.
And potential of what it could be.
Good luck, though.
Yeah, so let's move on to, I think that's it really for Ubisoft, at least what anything that's interesting to note. But Devolver had their conference on Sunday. So they showed off some cool games. Not a whole lot of games, but
yeah, they were pretty light this year. Yeah. Although we bought children
so
we are, but the
Demon Throttle.
Yeah, man, we just hook, line, and sinker, and I think they even made a joke.
That's the point. Yeah, that's kind of what they're trying to prove.
And even though I knew going into it, I guess this studio's last game, I think it's Gato Roboto, didn't review very good.
You know what? I thought it was a fake dev that they were talking about, honestly, because everything's so tongue-in-cheek and sarcastic. So it's Doinksoft is the name of the dev, created as Gato Roboto. I thought it was just this is just another joke. And then I happened to pull up the site at the same time, and you could start pre-ordering. It's like, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
It looks
I mean, that was kind of fun, but it's like they said last time, it's like the hype is what you're excited about. And yeah, the hype got me. Yeah. I hope it's a good game.
Right. If anything, I may never play it. I just wanted to jump in on the whole physical only release.
Well, I mean, I got 2 copies.
Okay.
I got the special edition. I got the regular edition. So we're playing the fucking regular edition.
Nice.
It's happening.
We got to play this. Yeah. I do have a soft spot for these games though, like this style of game, this retro stuff. So it could be cool. But yeah, that was interesting. They're only doing a physical release of this game.
Is it actually Doinksoft?
It is Doinksoft. It is Doinksoft.
I'm sad that's taken.
Right? Sitting my child, Doinksoft. One of the games showed off was Trek to Yomi, which was a super dope Japanese style or feudal Japan kind of thing going on. Very much like Tsushima.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of this black and white only style?
I think it's dope. So Tsushima had that mode, and it's named after this famous director who's done a lot of these Japanese samurai movies in black and white. Forget his name. But it had that mode. I never really enabled it. I think I tried it once, but I loved how colorful the game was, so I didn't want to lose any of that. But if this is focused in this direction, then I think I'm on board, and it looks really cool. I think the way they're playing with contrast, that's the whole intent, is to build the game around it being black and white. But then I do want to play it as that.
Creepy. I didn't notice until just now that the bad guy is missing his nose.
Yeah, he's like he's got some stuff going on. But the gameplay looks really dope, really brutal too. I think you're cutting off somebody's head, so I'm on board.
Very artsy.
Yeah. And as long as the action, the gameplay or combat is fun, then I'm super interested. But yeah, they announced that. Not a whole lot of games, but they focused on their wacky trailer stuff, which they do.
Showed off what's it called? From Flying Wild Hogs. Shadow Warrior 3.
Yeah, so let me pull that up because it looks insane, and it's kind of crazy that it doesn't get enough attention, it seems like, for how good it looks.
Well, they're not showing it really.
Well, it's 2021 is when it's supposed to come out. So eventually this game we're going to get in our hands.
Yeah.
But you said that you think that they keep showing off the same level or area every time,
Yeah, it's the same arena every single time. It's this platform on a cliffside, and there's like some spinning blade stuff. Like, yeah, this is it every single trailer we've seen.
It looks pretty amazing, though. Maybe if the game's just this, I wouldn't be mad at it.
It's just arenas. It's like a roguelite. Yeah. But the gunplay looks so much different. Like last time, you were fighting like 1,000 enemies, and
grappling hook again
did not have good gun feel.
I see. It's very Doom. It's very, very Doom Eternal.
Yeah,
but I'm not mad at it. It's better looking than Doom Eternal. I don't know how this thing's gonna run. If this is like actually portraying what gameplay is going to be like, but it looks freaking amazing.
I like the way the grapple hooks looks in this. Like you actually get a swing with it a little bit. That seems fun.
Yeah. Not just a direct Scorpion from Mortal Kombat.
Which I think is this change that the Dying Light devs said they kind of made too. Yeah, we're still on the same looking platform.
Well, you're drinking a little bit of haterade, I think.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean,
but it's
it makes me wonder how much there is to spoil. Like, do they have something big coming out?
Right.
He just pulled that gun out of that thing's gullet. I didn't even realize. Earlier, he grabs an eyeball. So I'm wondering how interactive, like, it's going to be fighting stuff. How much power-ups and weaponry are you pulling out of these enemies?
Oh, yeah.
That seems kind of fun. That could be a different take on, like, Doom, where it was like, hey, use this specific weapon on this specific gun to do damage, whereas here it's like, I don't know, grab the drill off of that guy's head, put it on your fist, and punch it through a wall.
I don't know, do that. They're like, okay.
Pull his eyeball out, use it as a grenade. Fuck off.
Yeah, the director's just coked up and throwing possible things out there. They showed this other game off called Phantom Abyss, which looks really rad. Now, it was either Kotaku, PC Gamer did a thing saying that apparently you can only play through the game once, and all the phantoms that the trailer describes, they're all people that have died, but you can't play again. But I'm not sure how that works if you pay for the game. So I need to get more details on it, but that's a cool aspect of it. It's like permadeath, basically. But then how do you justify when you buy the game if you die instantly?
I'm really curious to understand and see that and then never play it.
But it looks really cool. Just the, first person platforming looks really dope, and all the different traps and stuff. I imagine it could make you very angry very quickly because even in the trailer, like something might pop up that you didn't expect, and then you're dead.
Sure.
So how are they going to do this if it's you play it one time? But I could be wrong.
Is that they like generate a level and you have a one-time through, kind of like a roguelite, but you can still see everyone.
Right.
That seems like an unfair advantage. I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange, but I like the idea of it. So.
I do think the graphics are a little boring.
Really? To me, they look really cool.
Oh, okay.
That's just me, though. So, but now you're talking about talking to the king of RGB stuff. Like, I would have RGB skin if I could. And this game is all bright and colorful, so it's
Don't get me wrong. I will take the experimental RGB skin as soon as it comes out.
I think Elon's working on that.
Better. I'll jump on. I'll take the brain chip if I get to get the RGB tattoos.
Oh, right. So they showed off another game called Death's Door. It's coming out July 20th.
Oh, they've shown little clips of this. This looks great, and I think this was, I forget what the last game they made, but it was like that. I think it was something Souls.
Is it Titan Souls?
Titan Souls, yeah.
I don't know the same dev.
Great.
Yeah, I played a bit of it. It was really cool.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to beat Titan Souls, but
I see.
Enjoy it.
It got pretty tough where I eventually quit. But
yeah, but this looks like that, but now it has enemies with it. I'm totally down. The crows are super cute. How you feeling about this?
It looks cool. I'm sure it's gonna kick my ass, and I won't be able to play it because that seems like every game lately. but it looks really cool.
Bring it to Game Pass. We'll play for a bit. Well, it's Devolver. You don't know what's going to come to Game Pass.
Yeah, it's tough. Oh, you know, I think this one is actually Game Pass. No, it's just on Series X, Xbox One, PC. So
the world, possible. Though, like these super interesting.
Although, you know what? Last summer, Carry On, that came to Game Pass day one, and that's a Devolver game. So, but they announced it, you know, pretty close to release. So I don't think it's a case for this one. Could be possible.
That hookshot looks badass. There've been a few from Devolver that came, not a ton, but yeah, a couple ones that surprised me. There was another one I was going to play from them on Game Pass.
I keep forgetting Fall Guys was originally Devolver, at least like publisher, right?
I think,
and that came to PlayStation Plus for free the first month. But yeah, I forget about that game, and that one took off. So let's move on to Nintendo, Gavin. That was a big mamma jamma. So this was interesting to me. I didn't realize it until the day of, but Nintendo had a clause where they asked streamers to not stream the game. So this is from Twitch. Nintendo tweeted from their official account that co-streaming today's event is not allowed, differing from years past. While Twitch Gaming has permission to air the show, we won't be airing the event because of all creators can't co-stream the event.
I like this person's response. I propose we all stream last year's Direct because of this bullshit.
Right. Yeah, it was very strange, but they're also like, they're very old school at times where they just don't understand the internet and that people want to share stuff and it's only beneficial for them. But yeah, they're very withholding of certain things.
I would say people say like they're about 10 years behind in general. It feels like they're falling even further behind at this point. Like Metroid Dread is a 2D Metroid, which I'm excited that they're willing to try something like that. Yeah. And I'm sure people are going to be excited, especially Metroid Fusion fans who saw that getting a sequel in today's day and age.
Yeah, so let's pull up the trailer here. So this was pretty dope. Although the beginning of the trailer says Metroid 5, which I was like, found interesting because we don't have a Metroid 4 yet. Yeah, so we're watching the footage here. They will say it, Metroid 5. For some reason, they say that.
Oh, but not Prime. Prime is different.
I see.
That's although it does go first person, they probably shouldn't have done that. Right. It's a bit of a tease.
Yeah, they're trolling for sure. But then we switch to gameplay, and it's another 2D style gameplay. And they mentioned in the Direct that it's been however many years since the last like legit 2D Metroid.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm not a Metroid fan. Otherwise, I would have been gutted.
Yeah, burned every year, basically. They did say they're still working on Metroid 4 Prime.
Yeah.
This one looks cool.
Well, I heard the last one they put out, so they do Fusion or whatever for the DS? Or like, what was it? Maybe it was the DS.
Possibly.
They did a 2D one, and it was really good. So
gotcha. Yeah, I think it, of course the franchise started here. I think it's cool to go back and it looks really awesome. So I did pull up some details on it. So from the Metroid Dread website, melee counter returns together with dash melee, free aim on the move as well, new slide mechanic, new ability, spider magnet to climb/hang on walls. Metroid Team and Mercury System are working on this together.
So it seems like more of the stuff from that 3DS version where it's really more about the combat, which is interesting because I don't feel like these games were before, but yeah.
Gotcha. And this game apparently was talked about a long time ago. Oh. So I pulled this tweet from Kotaku, Stephen Totillo. I want to say he's still with Kotaku. Former Kotaku editor-in-chief. Yeah. So I pulled up the Wikipedia here. Metroid Dread first appeared on an official internal software list made by Nintendo in 2005. So it's been around development hell and Kickstarter rebooted, that kind of thing. So at least the name was started a while ago, but found that interesting. So moving on, we got some Metroid news, which is dope. So we got WarioWare. That was pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Love me some WarioWare.
Yeah, I think you played a bunch of it wasn't on DS. No, there was a Switch version, right? Actually, not that long ago.
I played every single one except for they had one for the GBA where you tilt, which is too bad because I hear that's like one of the best ones. But they're all just dumb fun. You play it, you unplug your brain. You know what? I've only played a tiny bit of the Wii U one, and which I barely played because a buddy had it.
You know what? Does Wario normally talk this much?
Yes-ish. I do. So this is one thing that concerns me. They seem to be showing an awful lot of this particular view and these particular sprites of Wario and everyone else.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder that they've, I don't know, built too much around this sort of platforming mechanic. So
well, maybe for each level or like whatever level that has platforming because not all of them do, right?
Well, but normally they were a lot more random. Like it's like pick a nose or do a thing. Not this. It's all platforming here, so that's weird.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But
yeah, it's coming and people love these games. I love how wacky they are. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I was thinking while I was watching the trailer. So Wario, the character, is narrating the trailer. I just don't remember him talking that much.
Well, he's the developer of these games. Okay. So this is his video game company that he made because he's like, oh, it's easy money.
I'm sure he's not crunching.
We'll make the shovelware. Yeah.
Gotcha. So we got that coming out September 10th, which is very soon. Mario Party Superstars.
Oh yeah,
we're showing off. So I'm gonna
give us that old school Mario Party that we've been wanting for years.
Right. So it's coming out October 29th. This collection of Mario Party boards and mini games features 5 classic boards from Nintendo 64 era and a collection of 100 mini games from across the Mario Party series.
Oh, that map can go fuck itself. I hate that map. It's 90% bullshit.
I don't have that same connection with Mario Party. I know a lot of people do, but it's
I mean,
cool
this is definitely how we stopped being friends.
Gotcha.
100%.
We survived through Cooking Mama or whatever. What did we play that was cooking?
Yeah, but we've worked in the kitchen together before.
Sure, but it's not the thing where there's a pirate ship and a split river in the middle.
But but that was us trying to help each other, but only having so much. This is like you barely scrape up enough coins. You're on the star block, and I fucking whip in, take it, and also take your coins, and also teabag your mom. Like this is this. There is no friends.
We got to see if our friendship
after this game.
But you're right; these are competitive, right? Compared to Cooking Star, whatever the fuck game we played,
Overcooked. Yeah,
that is more like it's collaborative. This is more competitive. So I can see where you start to strangle your partner there. But Breath of the Wild 2. Let's move into that. That was huge. Yeah. I honestly didn't expect to see it because I was seeing some, and I texted you some industry insiders. They were saying like, "Hey, take it easy with what you expect with this Nintendo Direct coming up." So I was thinking, "Oh, that means no Zelda," but they showed it off.
Well, I was a little disappointed because I hopped in via audio kind of late. I couldn't watch it, but I heard like, "Oh, and it's the producer of like Zelda," and I'm like, oh, maybe. And they're like, and here's like
the Game & Watch.
Zelda,
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword Warriors. Yeah. I'm like, really? That's okay, fine, whatever. So I didn't know I'd miss this.
Oh, I see.
And people have been pointing out that you don't see Link's face this entire trailer.
Ooh, you know what? I have another tweet, which is the internet's like picking this apart, which is great because there's a lot of stuff to pick apart. So you're right, you don't see his face. There's also the new like robot hand going on.
So that's a weird power. So you're reversing time? And now you can go through walls? Like that is what I wanted though. I wanted brand new powers. I didn't want the same powers as last time. Man, what crazy shit though.
It seems like time is a component because they are focusing on that.
I didn't even notice they reversed the water droplet before they rolled that back up.
Now we'll keep watching the trailer, but here's another thing that blew my mind. So this was from Twitter breaking down the trailer here. So I'm going to switch in real time. No. Oh, come on. So it was just showing off the fact that when you play the trailer backwards.
What?
Oh, the tweet isn't coming up. God damn it. So when you play the trailer backwards, it plays the Breath of the Wild song backwards. Like forwards, rather, when you play it backwards.
Right.
So to maybe touch more on the time aspect of it, which we see a little bit in that trailer. So that's all I was trying to pull up.
Which is neat. However, in Nintendo games as general, you see that literally all over the place.
Gotcha. Didn't know that.
But that is still cool.
But you're right with you don't see the face of Link. So are you playing as Zelda finally?
People pointed out that like in some shots you see the cities in the sky and others you don't.
Oh.
Is this something that's going to happen halfway through the game and rock you to your fucking core?
Now it seems like
those clouds look.
Yeah, they focused on having these. Nice. It's more aerial, right? Where you have these worlds in the sky or like platforms in the sky. Yeah. On the bottom, the ground level, is that still normal Hyrule from Breath of the Wild? Seems like it. Which I'm not mad if they just whatever they can get this game out faster. Use reuse the world on the bottom for Hyrule and work on the stuff in the sky.
Mm-hmm. Well, they noticed and that was part of the theory is it's 2 links because you notice in the sky footage. So the one where he's on the ground and you don't see the floating islands, that looks more like Breath of the Wild Link.
Yeah.
So, but this looks, he's got long hair. He's wearing a different outfit.
That hair is long. That is longer than Link's traditional hair.
This is more traditional, but there's no islands in the sky. So,
although I think his hair is tied back here. See that?
A little bit, yeah. So it could totally be that. Yeah, he's got a little ponytail. So yeah, is it two Links?
Unless Link is like now an influencer and on Instagram and looking cool with long hair, I think that's Zelda. Which how have we not got a Zelda game where you can play as Zelda?
People have been wondering if she gets kidnapped.
It's always the case. So like they need to switch it up. I think this is the game to do it. I don't know what that weird traversal is, but it looks really cool.
So crazy.
But you're right.
How thick of a thing you can go through.
Yep.
So we got the 2 powers. Last game, what did we have? Like 4 with like a couple varieties of bombs as well.
It was a heavy focus on physics, right?
Yeah.
And like elemental stuff. And I think you're still going to get that somewhat. You see that chain link thing, but it seems like there is
reversal on that.
The time reversal.
That's crazy.
And you're right. I didn't pull it up I didn't put it together where you don't see Link's face.
I didn't either. People just pointed that out, which it'd be interesting if it was Zelda with the long hair. But that being said, as other people point out, like it looks like the chest is halfway bare and that. So
that's true. At least in that scene. Yeah.
Or like a cursed arm.
It's strange. But I love that we have enough to like wonder about because we didn't have, very much anything beside for 2 years ago.
I think the thing that's got me curious is, so you got these things I assume you're exploring in the sky, at least with when you're on the ground, like you have mountains, so you want to climb up a mountain, you want to see what you can see, maybe pick out some stuff to explore, and then you go back down. I would worry that having these things up in the sky, it's going to be a little bit easier to be disoriented. Whoa, I just noticed something. So go back to that last shot. I'll tell you when to pause it. Keep going back.
Going back.
That was actually right about where I wanted you to pause.
Right here? Or further back? This black screen?
Right there. Go slightly ahead. Back. All right. See that little forest right there? You see right in front of him. I remember that from the first game. That's an area that's like perpetually raining, if I recall correctly.
Okay. You're right. With the electricity stuff. Yeah, the big mushroom deals. I remember that.
Yeah. So are we still in the original Hyrule?
I think we are. I think the ground level is, if not the entire Hyrule, then part of it.
Yeah.
And they're adding this traversal stuff in the sky. Yeah, I don't know. Or if it's just part of that world. But it seems like if we go back to that other trailer, the original one 2 years ago, they showed you going underground, it seemed like, and awakening something. And this shows what looks like Ganon's castle lifting up into the sky. So I don't know if that's what's splitting up and that's where you have to jump around. But man, really cool. And this last shot with Hyrule, I assume, looks really cool.
They said they're aiming, though. That's the one thing I didn't catch. Aiming for 2020.
2022.
Or 2022. Hopefully we get it.
Man, I don't know when we're going to get this then. They keep pushing it, but
yeah.
I mean, I'm fine. It looks really cool. I can't wait. I just want to play this now.
I'm very curious by the fact that they just hired loads of level designers.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see. I did love the fortress on the back of that thing's of the golem.
I didn't see that. I'm going to reverse.
Yeah, right there.
Oh, the fortress on the I see what you mean. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, and that cool robot arm. It's dope, man. At least we're getting closer.
Yep.
This is also tied to when did they launch the Switch Pro? And are they waiting for Switch Pro to be ready for Zelda 2? Seems like it'd be great to align those, but Nintendo really does whatever they want to their detriment, so I don't know if these are going to be separate. I'm just trying to like figure out when is this thing going to launch and is it going to be tied with that new hardware?
It's going to be on the Switch U.
Yeah, there you go. They bring it all the way back. But yeah, this one was pretty big to finally get some gameplay and more mysteries.
Graphics still looking great though.
Yeah, I mean it's Switch stuff, and I'm totally fine with this. Although if they're able to nail like the entire Breath of the Wild world with more stuff in the sky, it seems like how does the Switch handle that? But apparently it still has legs.
I'm astounded at it handled Breath of the Wild 1. Quite frankly, except for the forest where it was like, nope, shutting down.
I don't remember that, but it's possible. I forget that it had issues there.
It was like sub 20 frame rate.
Ah, gotcha. But we nailed the majority of E3 coverage. Now the internet has been talking over and over again about who won E3. If you have it in your mind, who do you think had the best presentation there? I don't really know if it really boils down to that anymore because E3 is different now.
Right.
But is there one that you think across the board succeeded or won, quote unquote?
Probably. Look through. I'm gonna go with Capcom.
Yeah. Saying they're making Resident Evil 8 DLC and we'll see you later.
You know what? A little bit Jeff Keighley's thing because
Summer Games, yeah. Why
I don't know
about
how the fuck he got that trailer for
Wolfenstein 5. Elden Ring.
Which we didn't talk about.
We didn't talk about it. Somehow I completely blew over that. I guess it's because these games, as beautiful as they are, I know I'm going to suck at them, so I just kind of disregard it. But I know the internet has been waiting for some footage on this, and we finally got it.
I can't believe we got it. The other thing that shocked me is, so as between press conferences, he kept showing this trailer, and there is so much shit in this trailer that, like, it felt like every time I was watching it, I'm like, is he just putting in new footage every time? Like, there's just more stuff. This sucker's packed.
Yeah.
One thing that did surprise me, though, this E3, we didn't see anything for Deathloop, which is the release is coming up. I'm surprised we didn't get a little promotion.
I think that's because it's a Sony title, and Sony's hasn't been at E3.
So no one knew who to promote it.
Right, because Xbox isn't, because it's, their ex-girlfriend, basically, so they're not going to touch it.
Got the bell testicles.
Yeah. Yeah, Elden Ring looks dope. It's just, I know I'm going to suck at this game.
You actually see him swing from the horse, so horse combat.
Confirmed.
Hopefully
this has a recent or like a very soon release date. It's like October or something again.
Man, From Software puts out games of massive size faster than
early 2022. So January 23rd, 2022. So still very soon.
Put this out this quickly. And they do this with all their games. They just whip them out. But that is the power of contracting and a lot of your art.
Gotcha.
Okay, we can throw this at 300 people.
And somehow, but that's still like another can of worms on its own, like making sure everything's cohesive and working together. So they seem to have a formula.
Yeah. Was there anything else big at his award show?
There was this. They confirmed that external game from Borderlands with Tiny Tina.
Oh,
showed that off.
Sounds like they're really mixing up the gameplay, they said, with that one. The thing I absolutely adored from that trailer, though, is they have they played on a trope where they have the dragon breathing down. And like normally you have like the wizard and the other wizard, and they're shooting lightning at each other.
Okay.
Where in this case, you have the dragon breathing down its electric breath, and this guy is just firing a gun back at it.
Oh, I think I remember this. We'll check it out on this footage here.
Yeah. So I hope it's good. I love Ashley Birch.
Yeah, there's a lot of they're going through
the voice actors.
Yeah, Andy Samberg, Wanda Sykes. You have Ashley Birch, Will Arnett. They're leaning into and I guess they mentioned it in the Jeff Keighley thing, where there's been a DLC in the past of Borderlands where they have this kind of like mystical or magic element to it. So they're like creating that basically as its own game.
It was Tiny Tina's, I forget what it was called, Wonderland or something. But yeah, it was a D&D style. And she changes the story. Like they were like, oh, we're just going to walk up to the castle, right? And she's like, well, fuck you. Sky's raining acid. Like just swaps out the scenery in front of you.
That's awesome.
It's interesting. That's younger Tina too, because in Borderlands 3 she was older. She aged throughout the. Well, no, I guess it's 2 games she is in, but yeah, she gets older.
Gotcha.
So this is Borderlands 2 Tina.
You're right with the shooting the gun at the dragon. That's awesome.
But man, those voice actors. Wanda Sykes, like she just has. Like she could say anything. She could read the phone book, and I'd be laughing.
She's awesome. Yeah. Very like just memorable, noticeable voice. They did show off, which I had mixed feelings on. It was Death Stranding director's cut.
Yeah, that was a weird trailer.
Yeah, they're trolling very hard because it's a lot of it was heavy Metal Gear Solid vibes to the trailer, and we're thinking like, oh shit, is there something with Metal Gear? Are they like implementing a level or something? But I think this was them just trolling.
I wonder if this is him. He talked to his lawyers and said, all right, how much can I mock?
What can I get away with? There's even the box part where the Norman Reedus guy just stares at the box for a while. It was pretty cool, but it's not the trailer that I had an issue with.
Fragile is also a character from Metal Gear Solid 5.
Is it? I know there's a character called... No, wait. I might be blending, but I know Death Stranding, I thought they had a character named Fragile too.
She's the gal with the bikini.
Is she Fragile or is she somebody else?
That was her. I could be wrong.
I think she's named something else. Because I think the character in the game, there's a character called Fragile. but I don't remember enough, even though I played both games and beat them. I don't remember. But the issue I had was the fact of calling this thing the director's cut, because that implies that something was cut from Death Stranding. Because that game is insanely long. There's hours of CG of cutscenes. What the fuck was cut from that game? Sony gave Kojima basically a blank check, another team's engine, and said, here you go, we'll see you later. So what was cut from that game? But I think this is just the title to the PS5 version of the game. So it's a fancy name, director's cut. I get it. But when they said director's cut, I thought, there's no way they didn't put something in the game.
Well, you've already bought it twice.
Yes.
We're going to need you to buy it one more time.
I might not, just because I'm sure the PC version is going to give me whatever bells and whistles turned on.
Right.
PS5 is going to be the same way, but it's a cool game. It is cool. It's just a lot of people find it boring. I understand it, but I ended up digging it a lot.
Did write down some games, but we're pretty deep in the...
yeah, we're about an hour and 40 minutes.
Let's see if there's anything worth bringing up. The Ring. Wild.
Yeah, if you got something, I'll hear you out. But it was
I think, yeah.
The majority of stuff.
What's Hunt the Night?
I don't know. You wrote it down.
I know. I said Hunt the Night looks cool.
Okay. Hunt the Down, I wrote. Hunt the Night. Hunt the Night Trail.
The Down looks decent, too.
Looks very Castlevania, at least from the art here on the screen.
The fuck is...
Ooh,
okay. I think this was just... Yeah, it's like a gothic-looking Zelda?
Yeah, pixelated, pixel art kind of thing?
Yeah, it's probably...
Oh, dang. So it's from the Guerrilla Collective, okay.
It is?
From that...
Which I don't know what that is.
No, but it's like a assortment of games. I think it's indie-focused.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is actually... Okay, so it's like old school Zelda, but with like better sword fighting.
Yeah, it's kind of like The Witcher meets Zelda. I get vibes of...
I was about to say Bloodborne meets Zelda.
Ooh, Bloodborne, yeah.
Huh.
That looks neat.
This does look cool. All right. Maybe I wasn't crazy. Probably not the one to end the podcast on. But,
it was the most anticipated. No, but it's still a cool looking game. Yeah. I wonder if we have an idea on the date, or they just showed off the...
I wonder who the devs are.
Yeah, I can Google that. Let's see. Hunt the Night. So is that the Guerrilla Collective? Hunt the Night on Steam. So Moonlight Games. That sounds familiar.
Anyway, yeah.
And no data
bring
type
that up.
Gotcha. Yeah, it looks cool. I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, Gavin, we can end it there for the day. A very lengthy E3, chonky, meaty event.
A lot. And yet people are still disappointed. They
I don't know what
didn't
to
get
tell
the rock
them,
stuff.
I don't have to tell them. They want like, Half-Life 3 and The Last of Us 5. It's like, E3's different now, and I think we still got some really cool games.
And Microsoft cut their shit in half. They're going to do more on the 7th. They should have just done more.
And Microsoft had game after game after game, but also that's the benefit of having Bethesda now, is that they have so much that they can show in one conference. And yeah, I think for me, that was the funnest, full on stream was Xbox's. But
well, it's crazy too, because that's not even like all their studios shown. Like,
no,
what happened to Senua Sacrifice?
It wasn't shown, but you're right. That wasn't there. There's other games. There was no Perfect Dark. The Coalition, they're still just working on Gear stuff, you have to imagine. So they weren't there. So yeah, that's not even everybody. And they still had game after game to show off. So
Drought's
it was
over.
nuts. Yeah, it's 2022 is shaping out to be a crazy year. Assuming, stuff doesn't get delayed still, which it might, but it seems like 2022 is really when a lot of stuff aligns and we get a lot of crazy games coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll end it there, Gavin. Where can they find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Awesome. And keep up with the show as well on Twitter at PlasticHeartPod. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.